FPS esports tend to feel that towards Ascent because they already have a lot of the core mechanics down of what you need to have in a good FPS team and just FPS mechanics, which is checking your corners, doing your due diligence, management of resources, all kinds of stuff. So I think this is going to be very much a comfort pick for Virtuoso in the sense that they are still developing, but they all are very good and experienced in their own ways. And this is going to be really interesting to see. So obviously we're going in here. We did also had some information that Virtuoso is trying to incorporate some more unorthodox agents into the play, but with Ascent that doesn't leave a lot of elbow room. Obviously, the 50-50 corners that Ascent has really does make you want to make sure that you have sort of the textbook stuff, the flashes, the smoke, the sentinels be able to get the information with the Sova drone and also the turret, the setup on B. There's a lot of things that you want to play around here. So I think I've rambled on enough here, Laz. So any other thoughts for this map as well?
I think it's really going to come down to, like you said, the agent selection. I think that's going to be really important, and we did see it come be on the screen before, and now we're just going a little bit of a nice preview through the map. But I think, like you said, there's going to be a lot of key points that we're going to have to see, and kind of what we're seeing from Virtuoso, I mean, is that they're going to be trying a little bit different of an agent selection. So kind of a more of a gamble, a little bit more of a risk, and definitely not the wrong thing at all. So we can see, like we said, it will be Elevate starting on that defensive side. Pretty much a standard pick, nothing really that jumps out that way. Even actually from the side from the attackers, nothing really too crazy for my books.
Nothing insane, but who's to say that the play style won't be? Now, it's just a matter of time we figured out. Instead of the one way, first of all, it's just going to be preemptive, as we are going to see nobody checking mid. The alarm bot will be there, but all of them will be at B. So Iconic just going to move down a little bit. Might have seen, sees the alarm bot, and now just sort of going to hunker down and wait a little bit, and that's going to play a little more of the time bank right now for the side of Virtuoso.
Yeah, very slow round, and already Ellie actually just taking down the turret, so getting a little bit more information, but the Killjoy actually going to be a big moving forward into mid, but it will be Iconic just going to actually hold things back. So even Lin just going to be posted up with his teammates. Now you can see the dark covers are going to be commenced. Now going to be blocking off Heaven as well as the doorway. Flashes come in. Lin's going to be able to get in. Nobody on the Elevate side close by. They're actually just going to allow for a full retake situation here, Bemi.
Fair enough. Good to have that player advantage, but we are going to see Lin storm down, get ready on Heaven. Might be able to find one. Does manage to get Frosty. That's the flash is gone. Trums will be able to trade it, but now they have to play with information and nothing else. Sure, how they have the smoke with the element, but the flashes would be nice, but Iconic with the flank, and now they're set up in the crossfire. Heaven is not a safe place. They managed to get two, but it's still player advantage, as a Sir will be the last one remaining, and a nice right click from Ellie as they will secure the pistol round ever so effectively.
Yeah, that was a really nice round for Virtuoso. I mean, the fact that they were just able to get into the site, able to have a clean execute, not really a lot from Elevate, and any sort of action back. I think we just saw one flash that came in. I think that was from the breach. Nothing too much of a harm, but I mean, Virtuoso, they were able to hold things down, get in the right post-plant positions. And I mean, that's kind of where it gets really difficult, especially when you're doing a retake on a site like B, or on A, my apologies. I mean, that makes it a little bit more difficult. But now we see Elevate, they're going to be actually grouping up. They're actually having a big player stack, so a little bit more of a gamble, and they're actually just going to be hightailing it, trying to see if they can take anybody down. A full aggression. It will be Apoth that's actually going to hold this down, but makes a nice connection with the Sheriff. So now, a good way to get things started. They already lose their utility. That's a big frag to pick up here.
Losing your smokes never feels good. And with the nerf onto Jet, it is even more crucial to keep your Omen alive. So, absolutely, Laz, major loss right there. And also just punishing the Force Spy. Now there's a Spectre in hand. Who's to say, with a couple of other Sheriff one-taps, this could be absolutely detrimental. We are going to see, though, it was a heavy gamble onto A, so now B is going to be open for the taking, and they will be able to secure the site. And technically, they still have firepower advantage, player advantage, laying on Elevate. I don't think Sniper's ready for this. I think they're going to market. The flash comes in, and another Spectre into the hands. Now they're going to be starting to pincer in. Iconic is hanging out in market, but I don't know if it's going to be much for this world. As Virtuoso, they are going to be tamed a little bit more. And they do manage to plant the site, but yeah, Elevate textbook plays, only loses a couple in the process. Iconic made a little bit scary coming from a weird angle, but Elevate, nicely done. Great, just sort of moving like a school of fish.
Yeah, I really like that play from Virtuoso. I mean, that's kind of the difference, I mean, they were able to, get into the site. They had the right idea, but I mean, Elevate, they were on that save. So for them, they were able to just gamble it. And the full push actually works out, pretty much perfectly. I mean, they pick up the first frag, they take down the utility player, the heavy support player with the smokes, and of course the paranoia. You lose that early on, and we already saw exactly why. And now we're back to 1-1. And now it will be another save round here for the attackers. They're not going to have a lot of money left in that board, so they are just going to split things up. So we're going to see what they can find, but they're going to have to use their utility to kind of burn that utility from the defending side as well.
So, Elevate in a good position economically, though. They were able to sort of pretty much bonus that round as best as you can. Then try to flush out credit card just to see if anybody's there and see if they can get on the follow-up the right click. Knows nobody's there, so there might be not too many people on B, or they are stacked up on the site itself. So that's a little bit of information, but not enough to go off of. They are going to go for the peak. The Shoker, doing good out there. Really like this engage. Not going to try to do anything too crazy. Elevate knows that they want to make sure that they have some player even amount just so they can retake effectively. Stun will come out. They know that a lot of them are coming from heaven. There's a bit of a tag there. Assert knows there's a couple in tree now as well. At least the Killjoy gonna pursue it. We'll be able to find a couple. And meanwhile, on the site itself, it's just nothing but frag. Beautiful stuff coming in from Joker as they will lead the way. And there we go. Nice effectiveness from the team waiting to push on through. And this time, they have the flashes, which makes a huge difference, lads.
Yeah, the flashes definitely make the biggest difference. And that's kind of the one thing that, I wanted to talk about as well when we were on that agent selection. I mean, the Breach, in my opinion, is still one of the best agents to have. Like, I think he pretty much has the full package, in my opinion. I mean, the only thing you're missing is smokes, but I mean, that's the whole benefit of having the Brimstones or having the Omen. The Cloudburst definitely can make a difference, but, with the recent nerf, not as effective as they used to be. But even now, we can see why the Breach is becoming very effective and just flashes galore. And you still have Paranoia. You still have plenty of other utility and abilities on all agents. But we're definitely seeing that Breach being utilized perfectly right now.
If Breach gets a smoke, I will cry, Laz. I don't want it. It's too much.
It'd be like a Brimstone on steroids, I swear, honestly.
Oh really, seriously, why not just give them also Orbital Strike with Rolling Thunder as well? Just like every time there's like a section of the Rolling Thunder that happens, just like a bit of laser comes out just to destroy, just in case, just for safety.
Just for the safety of it.
They're maybe from Denmark, but they are Swiss Army knife, to say the least. So we are about to see a lockdown, speaking of ultimates and whatnot, being dropped out, but I think it's a little bit of a bank here. They just sort of push over onto B, and they manage to catch Frosty out, which is pretty big. Still able to trade out, though. Hunter's Fear will come out, but Lin is leading this charge with no fear, which I respect a lot. Doesn't get too much information for the team, but frankly, they're greeted by having no threats, and also, meanwhile, lurking about is Ellie, able to find another one. Now the retake is just pretty much dang near impossible. Lin's making sure of that, gets a third, and we already are on a nice little back and forth. This is a really nice close game going on here, Laz.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, we're just seeing a lot of back and forth. I mean, you can see before, Pistol goes in favor for Virtuoso, and then, Elevate pick up 2 in a row, and now a little bit of response back. So we have an even playing field, 2-2. Will be a full gun round. A little bit of a dicey buy that we're going to see from Shoker, but you know what? Doesn't matter. No harm, no foul, because right now he can hopefully pick up one of his foes' weapons if he needs to. But, I mean, right now they're going to have to see what they can do. But, I mean, the way that this is going, I mean, we don't know what could happen. So many different pieces, but we can even see now it will be the attackers having a little bit more of a slow start. Actually, just going to be up that mid control completely. So we can already see a little bit of the Killjoy turrets going to be placed. A little bit more from Elevate as well. Ellie just going to be holding the one-way smoke. Not going for this orb as of yet. And this is the one thing that we've noticed as well. is that the Killjoy from Virtuoso is actually able to creep on through, getting a lot of information, pushing up into middle. Granted, there is an alarm bot close by, but still being able to push up and just have that much information and that much real estate is so beneficial right now.
Give them an inch, they'll make it a mile. Rolling Thunder will come out. Flashes as well, just securing the A site. I really gotta say, Virtuoso's A execution is spot on. Really nice smoke, great flashes, no fear. Just go in as together as a team, and it's really nice. Will get traded out though, and Frosty is still alive for the side of Elevate, so they gotta be wary of that. The flashes are still available, the stuns are too, and that is one way that you really lock down the site. So utility is there, maybe not the duelist, but honestly, even though as amazing as Shoker is, you still have the ability to bring it back. Lin is going to do a lot with the knives, though. Able to find one. Does get shot down, though. A nice crossfire setup from Assert. And Frosty, they'll be able to trade it out. And there we go. That's the kind of execution we want to see. Great setup there from Elevate, as they will go ahead and lock it down with the AoE from the mollies of the Killjoy.
Yeah, back and forth we go. Elevate going to be taking the 1-round lead, so they're able to get that retake. Ultimate going to be available for the Omen. And actually, it will just be Omens on Omens because they both on each side will have their ults ready, but nobody else. Will be G-Man actually 2 points away, and actually Frosty right behind with 1. So ultimates are not out of the bag here for Elevate. If they can grab those orbs or pick up that frag, that can really just change the pace of this round. So something we definitely want to watch out for this round as well.
Something to point out as well, speaking of Ultimate, Sniper hasn't been able to really find any frags, so this has been strictly off of skill orbs or just going down, just natural earned skill points or just orbs, so this has slowed down a lot of aggression. This means that Elevate may not have to worry about the lockdown being contested, as that usually the Hunter Fury is used to contest, and we'll see if it works out. But right now, in the moment, in the present, Lin does actually go down, gets a little too big for their britches. The execution not going to be able to cut out this time and find some opening. Gives them a good bit of information, but I don't think they'll be able to work too much on this. Sniper finally showing up on the kill board. Shoker will be able to trade it out, but that's still effective enough. Ellie won't be able to get a cheeky shot, and already this push has fallen to pieces. Might have been a good idea to rotate, but I respect the commitment. But Elevate still keeping it forward and got 2 rounds in a row now. We're starting to see them string together. I'm seeing a pattern here. Look at this.
Yeah, we really are seeing that pattern. And, you know, the one thing I was kind of curious about, too, is, I mean, we saw Ellie actually holding the very tight angle right inside of the connector piece from defender side spawn. So I'm not sure if they saw the rifle or just like a standard peek that they wanted to look for. But, I mean, if you would have been able to pick up those 2 frags, that really could have churned things around, considering how that round went. But now Virtuoso are going to have to just go for the Stinger and Sheriff by, so a little bit lighter than we typically would want to see, but now we'll have to see if they can make anything work. But a lot of good placement from Elevate. The one thing that we saw is that Lin got really distracted with that turret that was on top, and then Assert was able to pick up that frag. And even now, Elevate going to be up 2 points, and now Virtuoso getting their attention towards A.
Well, if they don't want them to have B, they will take A gladly. Their executions have been phenomenal. The retake has been not shaky, but has been dealt with before from Virtuoso. So Elevate needs to be mindful of that as one player goes down already. They are going in. They haven't planted, though. They are just playing for picks at the moment, it feels like. They try to take over Heaven, but they don't really have the kind of firepower they need to challenge this, as they will go down one by one. It's a noble effort. It is the save after all, so nothing too much crazy to write home about. But, again, this is great to see from Elevate, being really, honestly respectful of their opponents. They definitely have the self-confidence, but they are always getting the ability to trade out, Laz.
Yeah, it almost, you know, I was kind of a little bit worried for Elevate because we were kind of seeing some wide peaks that were in the site. And I think that was actually Apoth that was able to get that first frag again with the Sheriff and finds that opening duel. But then it just seems like Elevate, they kind of react to it in almost in a better way, because then they realize they're down in numbers. They just kind of have to trade off each other. And that's, like you said, it's kind of something we're noticing that's been a big key of success for them so far, is that they're able to get these trades, and just Virtuoso are not able to maintain that same play.
Certainly having a hard time on attack. Now, mind you, just to give them a little bit of benefit, that is semi-favored on defense, as we do see that from a Surge getting 2 right there. And something that you can do on defense is if you are well coordinated, you can push down A main with the best of them and deny that skill orb, and honestly deny some lives as well. Iconic, it may be able to find a couple just due to the amount of damage, but they should be able to get traded out here. It's Crossfire set up here, and we do see the other Killjoy on Heaven as G-Man will be able to lock that frag out, and that was a nice quick and done round from Elevate. Again, execution in the trades, beautiful and remarkable.
Yeah, the one thing I definitely want to highlight is, I mean, we saw that full aggression that came from Shooker. I mean, the fact that he's able to dash on through, just brought that gunfight. I believe Assert actually had the paranoia that was used as well. So you could see so many of the members from Virtuoso were completely blind, and he was just able to pick up a double frag. And that was absolutely critical, and it worked out completely well. I mean, a huge gamble, especially when you're on that defensive side, but you can already now see they're getting really comfortable. They're trying to take every single fight, and they're being very unpredictable.
They're feeling themselves, that is for sure. Just a neat tie up what Last says, a neat little bow, and they're going in. Beautiful flash again. Nothing like a good breach to just bring in the absolute damage, and it is a save round after all, I believe, so nothing too crazy, but hey, the fact that they managed to get pretty much unscathed, again, is really nice. We are going to see that buy round come into it, but, I mean, that basically gave Elevate the positive half, which is great to go into when you're going into attack on Ascent.
Yeah, so we're going to need to see a big round here from Virtuoso. I mean, now they have the guns on the board once again. No operators from either squad. I mean, definitely Elevate. They have the funds if they want, but we haven't seen it come out yet. But this is a big round for Virtuoso. They're already down 7-2, so they need to pick up this round to making it more of a fighting chance. Otherwise, we could really see Elevate just pushing even closer and closer to that double digit a little bit quicker than we would anticipate. But look at this. Oh, no, it's going to be the attacker Killjoy going to be used. That's going to be the lockdown. Even now, they're still going to be waiting out the clock a little bit more. It hasn't fully made its reach yet. No detained players as of yet. Is not going to make the connection. So, but they get in that site. But look at this. Assert, he's able to find Lynn in the back. And this is really good real estate already for the defenders.
It's ring around the rosy. Absolutely smart. Hey, the lockdown's on one side. Why don't we just go to the other? And they're not ready for this. Now they're kind of stuck in B main. They could got a little bit of elbow room, but honestly, they don't, because they gotta get that spike, dude. And if they don't, then it's just gonna be Spell in trouble. Now, Virtuoso kind of just figuring out what they want to do here, how they want to execute it. Just drop a Paranoia and try to frag the heck out. But you're up against Killjoy, an Omen, and a Breach. It's not going to be easy. You're barely going to be able to see anything. Apop, though, I'm able to find 2, but 2 health left. It's 1v1, but they have no idea where their teammates are. They are just going to, I think, TP to the spike. Oh, they're getting info. Oh, they're going to play for mid. They don't care about this spike. It's 19 seconds left. They're just going to try to get it. They don't have enough time to plant now, though. They just got to hope they find Elevate's Omen, but I don't think they will. It's just going to be 1 frag held onto it. But Elevate, you got to give them, got to applaud them. They just, again, able to just play aggressively. Element of surprise and able to trade out. Was close, but honestly, at the end of the day, they knew that time was working in their favor.
Yeah, I'm a little bit, it's such a hard position to be in, and you can see Apop was able to get those trades, get the double, but I mean, even then, he didn't want to try to go for the spike a little bit quicker. Like you said, he was going to use the ult, get some information, but instead he actually did commit to it, so he didn't actually even go for the fake. And a bit of a, he was definitely anticipating that player to be really close. There could have been that chance where he would have had enough time to get the spike down if he would have been quick enough, but it is so hard to make those critical decisions in a moment like that where all the pressure is high.
And you have little to no info. Correct. It's tough. And now Shoker. First time we're actually seeing them on the operator. See how it works out for them. I don't even think they'll be able to find a frag. We're actually going to see them push up mid, and they do it so successfully. A beautiful rolling thunder that comes out. Iconic may be able to find one, but no! Churms is able to follow up. They'll be able to trade out, but again, they're in a stuck pincer maneuver, and again, Elevate is just catching them off guard, setting up these amazing corners. And I may sound a little bit biased, but I can't help but to praise how Elevate and how well they're doing.
Yeah, it's really hard not to mention it, because like I said, they're playing super unpredictable, especially on that defensive side. Like they push mid, they've pushed
kidding.
A, they've done everything. Like they honestly have completely have a mixed bag of strategies, and it's completely working. And right now, Virtuoso, they just look like they're stuck in the mud. They don't have any response at all, and it seems to come down to these clutch situations, or like a 2v4 situation potentially. But a lot of individual play. We will see the fault line actually does make the connection, but Astardi's actually going to miss that shot. So a good opening now for Virtuoso to push on through, but it will be Shooker to make that connection back. Hunter's Fury going to be available for the attackers. Spike about to be planted. G-Man close by, creeping on through into tree, looking every single angle possible. Lin able to make that the lockdown. It's been able to land.
Pretty big. Hunter Fury just keeping them in close corners, and Lin, oh my gosh, imagine if the Omen didn't whiff the shot. They will be able to finally get this, and they made an inch into a mile there last. They managed to steal the op setup in A main, and then just pretty much locked out the site from there.
I mean, that shot was barely missed as well. So I mean, that's one other thing to look at too. I mean, you could see he was really close. But, I mean, Virtuoso, they were given a little bit of a blessing, because now they were able to finally pick up a round, whereas before, I think that was 7 in a row that Elevate were able to pick up. Absolutely phenomenal on their defensive side. But like we see, it's going to be switched over. 9-3 is the score going into the second half with the pistol. Now Virtuoso going to be on that defensive side, so we'll have to see if they can pick up this pistol to kind of bring back some rounds and some momentum.
Pray hope. I mean, they are on defense, and this is their map pick, so hopefully they have this bag of tricks a lot more on the defense side. 9-3 is not a great half. It's not impossible, but you have to be a very assertive team, and we've seen a lot of uncertainty, I would say, in some of these plays from Virtuoso that have caught him a little off guard. But that being said, a nice molly from Iconic, hearing the noise and just drops it, slows down production. Smoke will come out, does stop them from trying to be aggressive in any way, but that doesn't stop Iconic from taking a couple of right clicks and tagging up some serious damage. Doesn't get anybody, but potentially their teammates will be able to follow up, and that's a great opening for Virtuoso. A shock dart or two could definitely do the trick if they find it. They have just now planted the spike, but they're all in one location, and already Shoker goes down. Still able to trade out, though, but they're set up in a nice crossfire, and Virtuoso, they're looking primed to take this back, but Frosty gets 2. Will they stop the bleeding? They won't. Frosty just stops it dead in their tracks, and there's that individualistic playstyle we see, and Frosty just coming in clutch with a 3K.
Comes up absolutely big, and now Elevate to put themselves in the double-digit rounds, 10-3. Only 3 more rounds to go to taking this match away to keep themselves going on further in the tournament. And even now we can see Virtuoso, they're going to have to just spend whatever they can. Money completely depleted. Buckies, Stingers, Sheriffs, whatever you need, whatever you can afford, that's exactly what they need to go for. And it's looking like a bit of a struggle, but Elevate, they're feeling good. They're feeling confident, and now they're going to try to push on through. Lin tries to make it work. He's not able to make that connection, and now Terms gets that opening duel. And Sniper, he's close on by. But Elevate, they're going to keep the foot on the gas. They're not even going to let go at all of this. And Apoth going to try to see if he can make something work with this TP. He's not able to find the one. Still trying to make a little bit of a dance, but he's fully blind. And Elevate, they're just swarming the site, Femi. And it's all just down to only 1. But Elevate bring it back now, 11-3.
Valiant, it said. I honestly feel like the Force Buy may have not been the best choice, though that is a personal call on my part, in just the sense that I would like to fight for overtime at this point. I think the save pretty much locks, I think the Force Spike pretty much locks you out, not entirely, but pretty close to almost not winning. It does just give the Snowball a little bit of a bigger chance. Now Virtuoso, they have to save, but they are going to buy into this for the most part, leaving about a little over $1,000 for the majority, but they're not going to be able to do much. Lin gets flash stun. They're able to walk away with the life, but will it be enough? They have a shorty. Can they even at least find one? It's going to be tough. The match point is just a breath away from taking this. They just need to be very astute on the side of Elevate just to lock down the site, and they will be able to. Nice trade, though, from Iconic. Gets it on the flash, and Lin's able to fly one. Iconic gets 2 for their trouble. things are not getting pretty. And there we go. Virtuoso with a couple of taps and a great play from Iconic aggressively. They just managed to turn this around. And now we see a little bit coming out from them. They are going to be able to buy into it, but so will Elevate as well.
Yeah, and this is huge. And now even Virtuoso, like we said, that op pickup is going to be absolutely critical now for Lin. And what, like we said, a Jet and an op, it's pretty much the perfect match.
Lin was pretty good.
I know, and that's the thing. Lin needs to, kind of light this up, and he's now kind of in the hot seat. He's the driver. He needs to find these opening picks because his teammates, they don't have the best weapons. He's kind of the only one that's, the significant amount of damage that he can bring.
It's very true. I mean, on the positive side, though, Laz, Lin did a really great job. When they were able to steal the Omen on Elevate's op, they managed to get a 3K and set up an A main. That being said, though, I completely jinxed that, and that was entirely my fault. I will take blame for that as a cert. We'll just go the other way. Churms had the Hunter Tree. I didn't even realize this. This is absolutely catastrophic here. Virtuoso had just a little bit of momentum that they could, but just gets stomped out. Whatever flames there were is totally down. Iconic does manage to find one, but G-Man again traded out. The setups with the mollies have been so strong. They haven't planted yet, though. They could potentially do this. And also Iconic are actually one skill point away. So if they manage to get a frag and drop the lockdown, they could probably do this if they want to. A little bit of, a eager player or gamble, but not going to work out. Churms, fortunately, was right there, and a really good try from Virtuoso, but it is going to be Iconic falling down, and there it is. Match point for Elevate on Virtuoso's map pick.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit speechless. I mean, we're seeing Elevate, they just seem to be taking full control of every single situation that they have. I mean, their executes have been pretty much flawless from what we've seen so far. But right now, I mean, Virtuoso, they have nothing really to lose. So they have, the Omen ult. They do have lockdown available for Killjoy. So those need to be used in some capacity. I mean, definitely the Killjoys for sure. And even now, Elevate, they actually have their lockdown available also. So we're probably going to see that be used here. And it already is going to commence, so going to be used. But now look at this. Killjoys and Killjoy lockdowns going to be both from each side. So no execution going to be coming through. So now Virtuoso get another glimpse of hope.
They'll take whatever hope they can get here, Laz, as they really need it if they want to try to get OT. They are 8 rounds away from it, so that first frag onto Frosty is a nice way to start it out. Big flash onto G-Man as well. They're sort of separated here. G-Man is at least. On the A side, though, they couldn't care less about them. We'll be able to find Lin in the process, but that lockdown is gone. See if they can find it. Just sort of hunkering down in corners, see what they can. The blast is going to catch Iconic out. Turn to be able to follow it up. Snipers is doing amazing, though, and there we go. That's the kind of individualistic talent we need to see, and execution. Great retake from Virtuoso, able to lock it down, and they were able to separate the team a lot from just so much pressure. G-Man was just out of the action for a while there, Laz.
Yeah, that was a huge round from Ellie. I mean, I believe that was a triple frag that came on through, and a lot of critical flashes that were used and the perfect placements of that. So just allowing his teammates to get a little bit more close in those better positions and Elevate, they just weren't able to respond back at all. And now we see 4 ultimates ready to go for Virtuoso. So I talked about this before. They have nothing to lose at this point. So they want to try to use them efficiently and effectively. But, I mean, it's 12-5. They got to use it as much as they can. But it's going to be curious what Lin's going to do. And already using the Blade Storm, so already getting very close to middle. Might try to go for a cheeky little updraft over the mid wall to see what line. Actually, will get spotted. But Shoker! Better from better. Oh, my goodness. And now it's trying to just be down to Sniper. Makes it with 2, but it will just be back and forth. Apoth gets a little bit of a response back. Spike's going to be down, so Elevate a little bit of a bind right now.
Great frag from Shoker, but the eagerness just, I think a little bit of eagerness is coming in from Elevate. They really want to wrap this and bring this home, but just honestly not going to be able to do so. As the cert will be the last one standing. It's a 3v1. They've been a fantastic Omen, but I don't know if this is going to be the case. The spike is nice in the nest of mid for Virtuoso, and yeah, I think sort of Elevate need to adapt to the play style of being a little more passive, play for picks before trying to commit onto a site and being aggressive. And yeah, nicely done, Virtuoso. Shoker may have got the first blood, but Virtuoso follow up in style.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal play, and Sniper able to pick up that double frag was definitely a big key that they needed that round.
Oh yeah.
My goodness, Lin, just no luck whatsoever. Shooker, the fact that he was able to updraft his way over the wall and makes that connection with the Bladestorm, just disgusting.
I mean, Sherm's it's been a great sentinel for the team, really able to get a lot of information for the team to capitalize on. And that's what you want from a good sentinel. You want to find this. Yeah, Lin is, I'm unfortunately going to get a little bit. Oh, wait, hold on. Meanwhile, do my eyes deceive me? Sniper also dropped the Hunter's Fury. They're being very reactive with the ultimates here. When one is dropped, they respond with the other, and they are getting more value for it. Iconic as well, pulling it up. This, I gotta say, is such a different Virtuoso that we saw in the first half, and this is already making me. I'm getting goosebumps here, lads. I feel like, honestly, OT with playstyles like this, possible.
Yeah, I mean, and even now we can see Virtuoso, they still have lots of money in the bank, whereas Elevate at this point, they don't have a lot, so they're just going to go for the Sheriffs. And like you said, we're definitely seeing a different Elevate than we saw in that first half, because we saw they were just having clean executes, they were just bringing fights to them, winning every single duel. But now Virtuoso actually doing a little bit of their playbook, so now it's just getting a little bit scary. Still plenty of rounds to go, but I mean, at this point, it's definitely not out of the question.
Nope, Elevate's gotta respect it. I mean, like Sniper has gotten 2Ks, two rounds in a row now. Lin is set up in a good position, set up on Heaven, does get smoked out though, can go for one tap. I like the disengage. The retakes have been pretty good on Virtuoso's side, so I wouldn't be too surprised. As long as they respect these potential Sheriff picks and Stingers, they should be pretty good. Rolling Thunder as well, nicely done, gets bounced up like a fish in a barrel and shut down. They'll lose one in the process, but honestly, they're in such a good position. Only lose two in the process, has a really good economy to be able to afford that, and that's going to be another round. We are now 4 rounds away from overtime here on Virtuoso map pick, Blast.
Yeah, I'm just a little bit speechless. I mean, Elevate, like you said, I mean, this is going to be, you know, another round where they can try to bring this, because they should have the money. They got the spike plant, so it adds a little bit of that funds in there. Well, obviously not enough for an op, but they are going to have the full rifles. They have full armor. They got their utility that they need. So this is a big moment, kind of the tail of the tape, if you will, because they will not be able to buy next round. So if Virtuoso pick this round up, theoretically, this could put them up to double digits, only being 2 rounds away from pushing OT. I mean, there is so much pressure now. And Elevate, they must be feeling it, because they've lost a significant amount of rounds in a row.
True. Nice blast, and Flash will slow down any type of A push. They heard potentially some footsteps or something along the lines of that, but yeah, it's just not much going on here for Elevate. They are going to set up on to A potentially, but no full-on rotates. They're not getting into the bait quite yet. There is going to be a couple stacking up towards mid, so that way there's easier rotation coming in between A and market over to B. However, still, it's the calm before the storm, lads.
Will be the calm before the storm. I mean, Elevate now going to get ready for an execute. So you can see they have a 4-1 split. The Omen going to be all the way in the back of A. So will use his TP and now going to be able to join his teammates. Now will be Defender Lockdown that's going to be used. So it actually should push back these attackers, but they will just prevail and going to push on through. Sugar tries to make these exchanges, and look at this back and forth, and all of a sudden it's falling apart. The spray comes on, and it's going to be Breach versus Breach, Frosty versus Ellie. Who will prevail? Oh my goodness, critical damage is being exchanged. Rolling Thunder still available for Frosty. Should be able to have enough time to get this spike down. Does he want to burn it? Is he going to use it? He's got the flash, but Ellie, he's not able to make the shot, and Frosty delivers them the victory, 13-8.
Oh, Virtuoso gotta be kicking themselves in that one. I know Ellie's going to feel that tonight. as they just almost managed to clutch that out. And it would have been most likely the 10th round in double digits, you're right, Laz. But got to give it up to them. They made it pretty close. And they, honestly, in the first half, really changed it up. So gotta have a little bit of a silver lining. But Elevate, they're looking like a monster today. And I'm sure Justin, the owner, is looking very happy.
Yeah, I mean, if I was the owner of Elevate, I'd be really ecstatic on how the team's playing. We saw that first half. It was just complete domination. It looked like Elevate could have just swept this game so easily. But I mean, we can't count out Virtuoso. I mean, they definitely brought a fight back on that defensive side. Attacking, with a newer roster and a mix of players definitely makes it, a little bit more difficult because there's a lot of coordination and a lot of miscommunication things that can happen. But still able to bring a fight to a team like this. But man, I'm excited to see Elevate down the tournament more.
Me too. And I'm excited to see Virtuoso more in the future. I think, honestly, so much potential, but we must talk about the potential of both of these teams and the potential of Churum's. Really amazing stuff. While they were at the top of the frag board, they were also on top of it as well with information, giving their Jet Shoker so much to work with. And honestly, the team overall, really great stuff. Honestly, I don't look at this, the KDAs too much. I talk about more of the impacts of the play style. And, honestly, I guess if you can make a very impactful play style of giving information and then just following up on it, why not, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, even we saw before it was 19 and 15 with I think 11 assists and everything like that, right? So I mean,
Yeah.
definitely makes sense, right? And a lot of impact, a 277 combat score, and you kind of nailed it on the head. I mean, look at Frosty, 15 assists, right? I mean, those are things you just can't count out. I mean, Frosty with the breach, it always makes it a little bit interesting. But I think everybody on Elevate really turned up, and obviously as a Sove, that's what you want as well. I mean, on a map like Ascent, perfect recipe.
Yeah, and on top of that as well, it's scary when you have a breach that is able to act like the duelist as well. The secondary duelist being your breach can honestly sometimes be scary. Just instead of just having sort of like a Jet Reyna or a Jet Rays or something like that, or Jet Phoenix, it's sort of having that breach just being able to clutch out rounds like that, like Frosty did, is pretty substantial. So I mean, applaud to both teams, but we gotta say if we have to make any predictions tonight, lads, and I will make a hot take, is I think honestly we could easily see Elevate with that playstyle go all the way to grand finals today.
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely not cut them out. And I mean, now we're going to be going into top 16, so it's going to be a lot of question marks. But I mean, the way they were playing, and if they get a scent again, I mean, it might be smooth sailing for these guys. But I know for us, that's going to be it right now. We will be going into another match. We're going to take a short break, wait for the top 16 match, and we'll see you back soon.